My contention here is that we need to be careful. I think the markets are complacent at this point. I do believe that if the Fed in a year's time or even 6 months' time has not come close at least to that 2% target, the next move is going to be an additional hike or two rather than any cuts. So what I'm advising our clients is to look to unwind some of the high-flying names that have surged with this move higher in AI, and look for positioning that can be beneficial to your portfolio in a recession. I mean, I think this is the most telegraphed recession, that we've ever had in our lifetimes. Maybe it surprises and doesn't occur, but the more likely scenario, Maria, is that in an economic cycle, the next phase from stagflation is towards recession.
What I'm advising our clients, however, is to be careful with those speculative small cap tech names that have surged a lot with the move higher in NVIDIA and other tech names. So I would be wary and be selective with the names that we play. But I do think that portfolios should be positioning for the next phase of the economic cycle. And that could mean, for example, unwinding positions that have up to this point been overdone, such as the divergence, for example, between energy and NASDAQ, or small caps and NASDAQ. So I think that's one trade to consider. And the other is to build positions in those defensive sectors that historically do well in either stagflation, which is where we are today, or in the next phase of the economic cycle, which is recession. There's been a big divergence between, for example, small caps and big tech, small caps and the NASDAQ, or the energy and the NASDAQ. I think that can unwind. So I would play the opposite trade that we've seen working up to this point. The other things that I've been recommending, Scarlett, are more, less sexy, but more realistically defensive sectors: staples, utilities, healthcare, and energy. I remain more positive on those than on the aggressive high flyers.
What makes sense to me, John, is given where we are in the economic cycle and the inevitability of recession in that context, to sell the hype. Right? We've had artificial intelligence really surge quite a bit. We have in emerging markets, which I tend to look at with affection. We have the Mexico moment. There's a lot of hype in certain segments of the market that I think would behoove more cautious investors to rotate out of. John, continue to like the defensives, not the cyclicals. I like the inflation hedges and those sectors, John, that historically outperform both in stagflation and in recession. And those unequivocally are healthcare and energy, utilities, and staples. So I think we should take these opportunities of premature rotation into the discretionary names and the tech names, and expect that inflation will be sticky. We are entering into the next phase of the economic cycle. No one can say with much certainty or precision over what time frame, but I would say that we need to be defensively positioned over the course of the next 6 to 12 months.